forgive someone, it's really hard to be like, you know what, they were definitely wrong for what they did, but I forgive them for it. I'm not going to hold a grudge against them. One, because it affects me, and two, because I have been forgiven for way worse things than what they've done to me.
Yeah.
But that's what I think about when I think about forgiveness. I think about showing mercy to someone else because Jesus has shown me mercy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's in the Lord's Prayer. That's like one of the first things you say is like, Father, forgive me for I have sinned as I forgive others who sinned against me. Like, it's right there and then. Like, and that I'm not sure if I told you, but I've told my sister this, and I was like, if you forgive everybody except for that one person that did you wrong, right? Whomever it is, when you go to heaven, God can easily be like, oh, I forgive everybody else but you, David, you know? And it's just like, no, you have to be just how Jesus was, right? Or is, as he fed people, you have to feed people, you know? You have to be kind to others, you have to love other people. As you pray for other people to be healed, Jesus does that. That's what he does, you know? And so that's part of it. Jesus forgives, so that means you must forgive. And I feel like, one, it is a huge, I guess it goes hand in hand on pride.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
like, it's definitely going to be like something that's like anchoring you down. But you have to swallow that pill, as we did. I think I talked about it like second episode, right? You have to swallow your pride. And as soon as you do that, and on that episode, I had said that it doesn't get better. It's always just a giant pill. I'm going to redact that statement. It's now so freaking easy. Like, now that I did it, it's just like effortless. And I didn't know that. But so just take my word and my I guess testimony on that. Because when you feel like, man, that like you want to go off, you want to say all these things, you want to let them know, man, you did me so dirty, you did me so wrong, right? But then at the same time, you're like, as soon as you let go, you truly let go of that weight. You don't own that. It's like what Jesus says to, I guess at that moment, Simon, but not Peter, right? But in that transition, he says, come to me, my heavy laden. And it's like, that baggage isn't yours. You shouldn't own up to it. You shouldn't you should take accountability, but you don't claim it as yours, you know? And that's the whole reason why Jesus died on the cross, is for you to give that to him, and so you could get blessed. You know, that's called grace. And Jesus didn't have to do that, but he did. And a lot of people are just so scared of accepting that gift because pride, and because they can't just say, you know what, Father, forgive me. And a thing I want to point out is, this is a big one. When you were younger, David, this is true, right? And let's say, for example, you were younger and you ran around outside and you got dirty, right? You got mud all over you. You do not clean yourself before you get in the shower. You go to the shower to be cleaned. So that's how it is with Jesus. Mm-hmm. You don't fix yourself. You're like, oh, I'm sorry, Jesus, I'll go to you, but let me just fix my whole life first. Like, no. Mm-hmm. The whole point of him being like, come to me, is like, so you can be redeemed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially because you can't redeem yourself. You know, you can't clean yourself. It's impossible for you to clean yourself. You're not coming to the foot of the cross. I've been washed of my sins, even though, you know, I've done all these things. I'm washed of my sins. Now I'm coming to you, because you haven't. Yeah. You know, that's the entire point. You haven't. You have to be washed by the blood of Jesus Christ, and you can't be washed by anything else, because there's nothing else that will clean you. Mm-hmm. So definitely agree.
So now that's clarified, and I think that's a really good foundation. We can kind of build up from that, mm-hmm. where it comes to being able to be like, okay, how can I take this course of action? How can I make this happen? I recommend to all the viewers that are watching, you do not need to be in the same room to forgive them, all right? If they have passed away and you don't have that conversation, that ability to be like, oh man, my father was really bad to me when I was younger, you do not need to be in that room with them to be like, Dad, I forgive you. You don't have to. You could do it on your own, and in prayer, you could even say it out loud on your own. You don't have to be talking to someone either. It's just like on your own. And I think that's the best part about it, is that it is your task. You can't forgive someone else's sins. So it's like, okay, well, you know what? I can't forgive anybody else's sins. So that means I need to take accountability, and I need to step forward and, you know, ask for my forgiveness, right?
No, yeah, definitely with the prayer, especially. I know for me, on certain things, I think I'm pretty understanding and pretty lenient when things are going bad. It's like, okay, cool, they did this, but show some grace. It's not that big a deal. But at some point, I'll get upset about what happened, because it's these things have been going on for so long, yeah. And I'm like, why should I forgive them? I've forgiven them so many times, and then look, they're still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's so hard, because I know that I'm the same way, that I have done so many things and I've repeated doing those things, and Jesus still forgiven me. So I know that it's difficult, but because of prayer, I think it helps me. It definitely helps me, and it makes it a little easier to forgive someone, because I remember, okay, well, look at all you've done, David. No, that's been forgiven from you. So you know, you have to forgive that person too. And it's also, it feels so much better after you forgive someone.
Yeah.
Like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, okay, I forgive them. I'm not carrying this anger with me all the time anymore. When I see them, I'm like, oh, this person did this to me, or I don't want to speak to them. I'm going to ignore them. It's not like that anymore. It's like, okay, you know, and you might not want to speak to them again because maybe it was something really serious that happened.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to be around them, but it's not like, okay, I'm carrying this burden on all the time because I can't forgive this person for what happened. And prayer definitely helps with that, I think, and remembering that so much has been forgiven for us that we should forgive other people too.
And that's why I want to piggyback off of that. That's why it's so important to get baptized. I'd never experienced this. I got baptized twice. The first time, I thought I was ready, but I really didn't understand it. I knew of God, but I didn't know God. But the second time when I did it, I'm not lying to you. When I was underwater, I felt like everything that I was stayed in that water, and I felt new. Like I felt like when I came out, I was like, something stayed back there, and I just feel way more like redeemed, you know? And in truth, I want to jump back because you do not need to necessarily get baptized to feel this, right? For example, when Jesus was getting hung on the cross, there was two thieves next to him. On the one on the right, I'm gonna fast forward because on the one on the right, he said that I believe in you and that I believe that you're actually Lord. Jesus didn't look over and say, well, how many times did you read the Bible? You know, like he didn't do it. How many times did you get baptized? Or how many times did you go to the church? Like he didn't ask that. He said, together you will walk with me in paradise. And it's just like, bro, like just like that, you were like accepted. And it's just like, man, like what a good time, because he would be like, oh dude, I'm so freaking lucky, like right on that cross. But like in truth, like he was about to just pass away. That guy, he had the opportunity he had the faith and the encouragement. And that's actually a lot of that comes to what happened?
No, I'm just okay. Make sure it's good.
That comes to, I didn't put my timer for mine, by the way. That comes back to having encouragement. You have to be, confident when you ask for this forgiveness, and you also need to mean it with your heart. You can't just, like those in the past, for those who don't know, sin equals death. And so, or the wages of sin is death, right? So people in the past would do a sin, right? For example, they'll steal something. They'll sacrifice an animal, and then after that, they're redeemed. And that's not how it should be. You can't just continuously manipulate that. You need to mean it from your heart. So that's why Jesus was like, you know what? The ultimate sacrifice, I'm coming down, and I will be that sacrifice. So you don't need to run acres or yards or miles or a different country just to find the place where you can speak to God. You can do it anywhere. You can do it in your car. For shout out to the people that are Christians, you know this, when you're driving down the highway and you're worshiping, like you literally make your car the altar, like just like that. It's just like, man, you don't have to go do all those things to go to different locations just to feel God. The whole point of Jesus dying for us and taking that punishment is, well, obviously one, there's separation, there's the division from sinners to saints, right? I guess you can say. But also a huge change. It's like, okay, we used to have religion over everything, and it was like, no, it's not religion, it's relationship. And that's a huge part of it. So if you want to ask for forgiveness, truly mean it with your heart. Don't take abuse to it. You can't do sin, and then you can't serve two masters. So you can't sin and then the next day be like, okay, no, Father, forgive me. And then the next day do it again and again. Like, you have to mean it with your heart.
Yeah, another thing too is you're asking God for forgiveness, but you also have to ask forgiveness from the people you sinned against, right? So you have to go and you have to humble yourself, and that's so hard. And I've done it before when I get into fights with my siblings or whatever. I have to go and say, you know what, that's on me. I did bad. I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? And my siblings, of course, are always going to say yes, right? Because they're my siblings. And I'm going to do the same thing for them, right? Every time they apologize, I'm like, yeah, dude, it's fine.
You're like, I don't know about this time.
Actually, talk to me. No, but yeah, that's part of it. It's really hard because you're like, am I actually wrong? Or in some cases, it's very clear that you're wrong. But just because of your pride, you don't want to do it. Yeah. You know, like that's like getting an argument with my sisters or something like that. And I don't want to be the one to go and say, you know what? That was my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for starting this argument with you. I'm sorry for causing the fight. Sometimes I think I'm right. I'm like, I don't have to apologize. But you know, if even if you were right about what happened, you can say, you know what? I'm sorry for fighting with you. Like, I do mean what I said. Like, I meant when I said this, this, and this, you shouldn't do this. But I'm sorry for causing a fight. I didn't mean to cause a fight with you. I didn't mean to start yelling at you. That's on me. I shouldn't have done that. You know, because you can still correct someone and be wrong because of the way you did it. Like, let's say you did something to me, right? Yeah. And I go up to you and I start yelling at you, like, why would you do that to me? I don't know why. Instead of being like, Eric, like, that hurt me. You know, that was what you did against me was wrong.
Yeah.
And that gives you an opening to be like, wow, you know what? Maybe I really did mess up. I'm sorry, David. Instead of saying, who is this guy yelling at me?
But when that does happen, because I thought you were gonna say something else. I thought you were gonna say I was gonna be like, yeah, you should be, after you said I apologize.
Oh, because
that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's when pride would really not
come
you
out.
and your and you really gotta fight that. I thought that's what you were gonna say.